Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. If you're doing no contact and finding it difficult, as most people do, then I have a story here that I think will help you. It'll help you to keep the faith. So here it goes. It says, I had an argument with my boyfriend through text. Before I continue, do not have arguments via text. That's the worst way to communicate. If there's something important that needs to be discussed, do not do it via text. Just stop and say, let's talk on the phone. Anyways, continuing on. I was the last to text, then he never reacted. I then cut off all contact, deleted his number, his photos, did a cleanup. But before I did the clearing, I was dying inside. The first 2 weeks were like hell, but I held myself through it though. Good. I then said to myself, if he never talks to me, I will cut him off completely. A month passed by, and I finally cut all contact. Now, I don't know what kind of contact she was still keeping in contact with, but she was obviously doing something to say that it took a month to cut off all contact. Okay, so everything's gone. Then, 2 months later, he texted me saying if he ever made me mad, he's sorry and he wished me well. Well, there you go. The ex returns. Continuing on. But guess what? I never responded. I remained mum. At this point, I was done with him. 2 weeks passed and he texted me again, begging for forgiveness. Now, this is not unusual. And by this, I mean that you hear back from your ex and you don't respond, and then they hit you up again. And most people don't know this because as soon as they hear from their ex, they're only too happy to immediately respond. But if you don't respond to the first text, if you're not happy with what they say, and you don't respond, more often than not, you are going to hear from them again. And a lot of the times I found, strangely enough, it takes about 2 weeks. Because the first few days, they're thinking, yeah, he's just playing hard to get. She's just playing hard to get. But I know that they're going to break down and contact me, especially if you were needy in the relationship. And so they're just waiting. And then after about a week, they don't hear from you. And they start to wonder. They're like, that's weird. I thought for sure they would call me back. But, I'm sure they'll call me. I'll just wait. And then they get to the 2 week mark and they realize, oh my God, maybe they're gone. Maybe I've lost them for good and they're not coming back. They're not responding. And so then the truth comes out. That's why you don't always want to necessarily respond to your ex with the first text if it's not something that is to your liking. If they just say, hey, or what's going on? I mean, in this text, he said he was sorry and he wished her well. But she was done. She didn't care, so she didn't respond. So continuing on, 2 weeks passed, he texted me again, begging for forgiveness. I forgave him, and he's back, literally kissing my butt. My intentions were not to cause him pain. So if you're out there and you're going through this thing, please do not chase. Be strong, and they will literally crawl back to you. So if you are in this type of situation, I hope that this has given you some strength and some insight into what happens if you just sit tight, especially for you if you're thinking that your ex is stubborn and you'll never hear from them. Don't worry. Just wait. You have to be more stubborn than them, and you probably will hear from them. Now, I know what you're thinking. She broke up with him, but she did no contact. But there wasn't really a breakup. I mean, she broke up with him in her mind, but they just had a fight. It's not like he said it's over. They just had a fight, and neither one of them contacted each other until he finally did. So hopefully this has been helpful to you. If you have any questions or comments, or you are interested in private coaching with me, you can contact me at my website, theartoflove.net. If you're listening to this on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, please subscribe. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.